Hey guys, no warning for this video except for the fact that I'm going to be trying out a new format with this one. So there won't be a speed paint recorded in the background. Instead, this will be a lot more prop heavy and with the use of a background drop. This is something that I want to test out, so let me know how you like it after this video. For now, we can get right into it. Last we left off,
I am Nedu. Who are you?
the masked, shadowy figure questioned as it slowly glided to them. No feet visible, no flowing cloak, just pure shadow that poured like water from the golden mask. They all introduced themselves, but Adelaide was the one who stepped forward and asked if they knew Romu, another shadowy figure that the team had met at a lost library in Ireland. At hearing this name, Nedu perked up and said,
Ah, you know my brother? You are friends, then. Welcome.
They were unable to see their face, if they even had one, but they could all tell that Nedu was smiling under that mask. So relief and relaxation washed over everyone as they approached and talked more freely now. They informed Nedu that they were searching for information regarding Atlantis, to which Nedu sadly informed them that they held no information regarding that. No scroll, no tome, no scribe on stone or artifact held any clues to that, which obviously disheartened everyone. Until it was asked if Nedu knew who would know of it then. Do they have information on any being that would know? At that, Nedu paused and thought. Ominously, their mask tilted to look at Quinn, and they quietly said,
Perhaps a god?
Quinn went rigid. What did you say? She questioned as Nedu glided to a fallen bookshelf, picking up an old and worn leather-bound journal. It would be in worse wear if it weren't for the magic of this place that kept everything intact. They slid back to Quinn and answered,
A god would know. You have experience with gods, yes? You hold a flower of origin.
Quinn didn't answer as Nedu flipped this journal open, seeing each page holding a pressed flower in between them. Her mouth was dry, and she was frozen in place as Nedu simply stopped on one page in specific and explained. As they actually had landed on a flower that was completely different from Quinn's. The flower that this page held was larger. Its colors are a gradient of purples and blues, the petals thinning and waving out towards the tips, droplets of frozen crystals dripping from them and spreading a frost amongst the page. Nedu held the journal up to the group as they continued to explain.
Every god and every creature of incomprehensible power has a flower of origin, a sacred flora that only grows for them or in their domain.
They gnawed the beak of their mask towards the frost-lined flower.
This is the flower of the goddess that shut herself away from our world, taking her people and creating her own realm. Since she disconnected herself in such a way, she would remember and know much about the world before it was erased in great calamities.
This brought two questions to the group. The first is brought up by a simple repeat. Calamities? What calamities? Nedu hummed to themselves as they looked out over their vast library.
Calamities have befallen this world. When they were stopped, the world was started anew, and most knowledge erased from the beings that remained. This is why my family exists. We preserve what we can, save what we must, before the next.
The weight that comes with the thought of this happening again, or what that even means, is too much for most of the group. So they decide to push past it and instead ask, how can we find this goddess if she has separated herself from this world? Nedu looked back to them and answered,
She may have left, but there are still ways to travel to her, to go to her domain. She has followers that travel here sometimes. If they can come here, You can go there. But how to find where to go? I would not know. My library would not know. But I know of a being that could.
Then they glide to another area of the library and bring out a tapestry of dark trees and red strings, left unfinished.
The Weaver of Life. They may show you the strings of the goddess. Perhaps this can lead you to her.
Which is great and all, but this just leads to the group asking, well, how do we find them now? Luckily, Nedu actually had an answer for this, as they motioned to areas of the tapestry, informing them how there is a stone tablet that was split in two and separated from one another. Unite them, and you will be brought to the realm of the Weaver. One tablet was taken and housed in a museum by humans, the other half taken into the supernatural world. Sadly, unknown to where that is. But luckily, the team has some skilled contacts that could definitely help in finding something through some sort of supernatural black market. Lino. Which they were all so happy to realize. So happy that they all groaned. They had a lot to deal with now. So many hoops that they had to jump through just to find this damn place. But hey, you didn't think it'd be easy to find a lost civilization, did you? And apparently, one that is so much more important and powerful than what their history books led them to believe. This all started to feel like something else entirely. With this information found, the group decided to rest in Nedu's library chambers for the night, taking time to themselves to explore this place. Except for Quinn, who was stuck in place with the book that held all the flowers. She swallowed thickly as she began to leaf through it, her heart pounding as she turned page after page after page, until she finally found it. Within the book, she found a flower identical to the one that grew from her head. Her heart dropped as she realized what this meant. A god had done this to her. A god had taken her family. Shakily, she turned to Nedu and questioned about this flower, and being connected to it, which Nedu tilted their head and said,
I thought that you already knew. To be one that holds a flower so fresh from them. It is a flower of a deity that I would have thought to have died out by now. But you have met them, yes?
Quinn slowly nodded and asked, what can you tell me about this deity? Nedu thought for a moment.
They were an oasis deity, only existing because of the people that believed in them and followed them. But then their people were taken, and with them, the spirit of the deity was taken with them as well. I am surprised. I did not expect them to still exist, yet here you are, bearing their mark.
Quinn wasn't able to say anything. She just quietly nodded thanks to Nedu, and then walked away with the book, searching the library for any more useful books that she can, and sitting down to try and find anything more that can help her. Becoming completely focused on studying, trying to find anything that can help her understand, that can help her save her family. Karth came and sat close by her, saying nothing, just offering her support and company as she works, which she greatly appreciated in her silence as she just simply held his hand. While the other three quietly rested, Mateo continued to walk around the library, looking at the artifacts that lay about, until he came to a line of masks that were shelved on a wall. He couldn't help but stop and stare at them uncomfortably, being reminded of what brought him here. Just as he was feeling his anxiety and anger rise, suddenly his head throbbed, a weight appearing in his skull, and he became dizzy as his vision split. When he finally steadied himself and closed one of his eyes, he realized that his glass eye was seeing something different from where he was. Where Mateo was in a dark underground room, surrounded by sand and books. But yet through this eye, he sees himself walking down a street. The sky is bright and blue, and suddenly he stops, and his vision turns to the side, looking at a window of a shop. But it's not the shop itself that grabs Mateo's attention. No. It's that he sees himself in the reflection of the glass of the window. But he isn't there. He can't be. Then, he sees his reflection just smile. Unnaturally wide and plastic. It knows that Mateo can see it, and so it waves to him. It waves with that disturbingly jolly smile, and continues to just walk. That is all Mateo sees before his vision returns to himself and he stumbles back, feeling sick. He now knows that the mask is still alive. It still walks around as him. Mateo isn't able to tell exactly where it is, but he did see the language written on the signs around it, finding that it looked Hungarian. He had to tell someone immediately, but he couldn't. Everyone was asleep. He had no service on his phone. All he could do was swear and quickly walk away from the wall of masks. All he could do for now was join the others and rest. Being left in his fears and his thoughts turned out to be a dangerous thing, however. Something that you will all learn in the next one. For now, we will end it here. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. And until next time, keep your heads above water. Bye.